Minister, thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. Let's start with the most pressing issue. What is United Kingdom's view on Macedonia's upcoming referendum over the name issue agreement?
Well, we think that addressing the name issue is very, very important. You know, it opens up great opportunities for the future, and if the name issue is not addressed, then it just maintains blockages for the future. So we think this is a very important step, so we'd urge people to participate. You know, it's never straightforward. There are complications. I understand all that. But I think that the Prime Minister has been very courageous, and also it's taken courage and leadership on the Greek side. So I think this is an absolutely unique opportunity, and if you miss it, then what next? It can only be negative, I think. So I'd urge young people in particular to think of the future and to participate in the referendum. I mean, whatever your view is, go out and record it in a proper democratic process.
The whole process stirred up a lot of emotions and I would say a political debate in the society for and against the name agreement. And on one hand, we have the government that is pressing for this referendum and the vote yes. And on the other hand, we have the opposition, which so far hasn't made it clear its official stance over the referendum. You had the opportunity to meet with the leader of the of the opposition, Mickovski. What did you tell him? What was your message to him?
The thing about a referendum is it's designed to consult the people in a vote on a big issue that can't be solved by straightforward sort of elections or whatever. So I don't think this should be seen as a party political fight. And if it becomes or is seen as a party political fight, I think that takes away from the thought that needs to go into the big question, which is do you or do you not agree to this deal, the name change and everything that follows. So I hope that all politicians can rise above party politics, that they can look at the long-term interests of the country and then express their view, which may be for, it may be against. But I think that our personal view is that I think this will be in the long-term interests of the country. And if, as we think we understand from polls, a massive majority, maybe 80 or 90%, want to be a member of NATO, want to be a member of the EU, how can you want that, but then not vote for something which opens up the door to achieving that?
So, in other words, you think that every citizen has to express its right to go out and vote no matter what he has to say about it?
Yeah, I think the thing about any democratic exercise, you know, an election or a referendum, is it needs participation. So the worst thing you can do is not vote. The best thing you can do is vote as you think is best for the country. So I would urge people to participate. I think they should. I mean, the whole world is watching. I mean, look at all the people who have been flying in. I mean, Macedonia should think, why have all these people come in? Merkel, Sebastian Kurz, why are they coming to Skopje? And the answer is because all of these people, your neighbors, your friends, think that this is an opportunity for Macedonia to move into the next phase of its national development and its inclusion in the wider European family. So people ought to stop and think, why are they doing this? Is it for them or is it for you? And my view is it's for you. Now, we're not here to tell you what to do, but we are here to encourage the process and to urge you to take an opportunity which I think is in the interest of the country.
You mentioned blockages. If Macedonia doesn't use this historic chance, as someone says, over the referendum and the name issue, does it mean that on a longer run, or in a period of a couple of years from now on, that Macedonia will not be on the agenda of the Euro-Atlantic institutions again?
Well, clearly, if there's, you know, disagreement with Greece, they could stop you joining the EU. And on NATO, we want harmony and agreement in the region to fulfill the NATO sort of conditions for joining. You know, it's not a total barrier, but clearly it's a negative influence. And I think equally clearly, if the name change is approved in the referendum, I mean, you're well in the fast track to joining NATO very quickly. But if you don't, you're not.
If Macedonia delivers, meaning the, let's say, referendum and the constitutional changes, which are the essence part of the agreement of the name issue between Macedonia and Greece, will the international community do its part concerning the integration of Macedonia? So the question is, if Macedonia delivers, will the international community deliver its part of the task?
I mean, I think that's exactly what we're doing already. And in a way, that's one of the reasons I'm here. I appreciate that the UK is going to leave the EU at a time when we're talking about Macedonia one day joining it. But we are a full, significant member of NATO, of course. And as we showed in our Western Balkan Summit, which we hosted in July, we are looking very closely at this region with a view to doing everything we can to help and be part of its continuing progress. So I think the answer is yes. I mean, I think the voters of Macedonia have it in their gift to improve their chances to move forward towards EU integration. So if you say yes, you're on the journey. If you say no, you're in a more difficult position.
The last time I talked to you, that was 2017 in February, you were very straightforward concerning Russia's role in the region. Has anything changed in London's view on, as it is put, Russia's malign influence, especially in the Balkans?
Well, I think, first of all, look at their malign influence in the UK. I mean, since we last spoke to each other, we've had people poisoned in a UK town by a banned military-grade nerve agent, the likes of which has never been used on European soil since 1946. And one person died, 3 or 4 were in hospital. And we said at the time, we know that this is of Russian origin. So either they did it or they've lost control of their stocks. Stocks, by the way, which they said they'd got rid of. So not only are they in breach of a treaty for still having stocks, but they're also in breach for the fact that these stocks have been used. So we had an extraordinary diplomatic global response supporting us, and the Russians are saying, oh, rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. And now, 6 months later, we've got all the detective evidence to show that these 2 men came and used a fake perfume bottle to spray a doorknob, and that they obviously did it. And the question is, are they GRU, who approved it? But it is obvious that, and now clear to the world, that the apparatus somewhere of the Russian state carried out this attempted murder, hence they've been charged. So our view of Russia's malign influence, if anything, has increased since we last spoke. But they are also using social media and other means to interfere in people's elections in an underhand, bad way. So I would urge people here, as we approach the referendum in 10 days' time, or about 10 days' time, to think carefully about what they see on Facebook, what they see on social media, what they hear someone saying. Is it actually malign influence trying to warp and twist the democratic process, or is it the proper expression of legitimate opinion? And that's where people need to use their brain and work it out for themselves.
Minister, thank you very much.